Hey everybody, let's build a pier. Alright, so after you've chosen your location, for example something like this at the waterfront, let's gather your materials. Of course, the terrain will determine the actual number of materials that you will need, but if you want a starting reference point and build it exactly how I do it, here's what you need. Alright, so first things first, we are going to outline the area that you want to build. So let's say your platform goes from here and then you're going to walk out to the ocean like this. So your level will be, say, here, and you're going to do 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so 1 yellow glazed terracotta followed by 5 fences, and then we are going to use campfire to outline the width, because campfires will also be used as the actual walkway. So extinguishing those. Alright, so we have an outline using the modules with the glazed terracotta and the oak fence. So as you can see, each section here is 5 fences sandwiched between the glazed terracotta. So 5 fences, 5 fences, 5 fences. Now the only exception would be this long segment here, which is a place where you would typically have people just looking out over the vast ocean. So there are many ways to do this, as with most things in Minecraft, but one way I do it is I align my terracotta block here with the ones of the actual walkway, so they look neat. And of course, depending on the length of this actual segment, you can kind of divide them up however you want. Now once you've had the outline like this established, you're going to fill up the rest of the floorings. Now the next step of this platform here is to kind of texture it. Now to do this, you need 3 things. So the campfire itself, oak trapdoor, and spruce trapdoors. So let's start with the easiest one, the campfires. So what we're going to do is see how all of these are in the same direction to simulate the kind of sort of broken down effect of, not everything is perfect, right? So we kind of simulate that some of the planks have been exposed or been warped or been collapsed, because it's not a brand spanking new pier. You can turn it sideways. You can turn the campfire sideways, going against the grain here. You can see this goes across, however this goes the other way. So you're going to do that for a few of them, just like how you would with texturing, say, a wall. Don't go too overboard, because there will be 2 other elements that we will be using for texturing. So maybe 2 more on this left side, like that, and like that, and then 3 more on this side. So yeah, something like that. It doesn't look too crazy at first glance, however it adds to that nice little detail. Okay, so second thing is with trapdoors. You do similarly, but the holes in the trapdoors, they represent a larger degree of deterioration. So depending on how new or old you want your pier to be, use them accordingly. So let's see. You can see here, you can see all the way down through the trapdoor into the ocean, as opposed to just some gravel, quote-unquote gravel, with the campfire. So this represents a much larger degree of damage, so use them as you wish. So I'm gonna do something like that. One on this side, and it's worth noting also that the color of the wood is slightly brighter as well, so I would advise against spamming them too much, just to make sure they don't be the main focal point of the pier. We want them to be textures, not attention stealers. Now for a more nuanced piece of texturing, we will use spruce trapdoors. So similar to the other ones, we will also decide how to use this design element, but because it's a close end, no see-through trapdoor, it doesn't feel as badly damaged as the segment simulated with an oak trapdoor. So, and the color is of a darker complexion this time, and you can do them two ways. So it's quite interesting, this one. Spruce trapdoors, feel free to go crazy on this. So let's say I put one here this way, and then I also put, let's see, let's put one here, but this way. Alright, so something like that. So this one is a newer type of pier. It's not too destroyed, but there's definitely some wear and tear. And to finish off this platform, we're going to add some decorations. A basic one would be a chair bench, although with the new cushion update you can obviously go crazy with this. I prefer a classic design for this one in particular. So what you're going to do is just very simple. It's just going to be punching this hole right here, and then place a bench that faces the ocean. So I'm going to do one here, and then also one here. Like that. So 3 benches. If you want symmetry, go here, but I don't see the practical point of this. Oh, it actually has a pretty nice viewpoint, looking out to the little bay and the floating island over there as well. So I'm going to place a bench here. And now the final element of decorating this platform are armor stands. I do prefer this on bedrock, where there's a more varied pose selection, but this is fine for now. It's definitely different. So you can have some people, just admiring the scenery here. Or you can have people walking in and out like this, walking towards and away from the pier. And then obviously this is good for a date. Of 2 people just looking out to wherever. Pretty nice skyline. Location is important, guys. Alright, so with the platform itself being more or less done, it's now time to add the elements that go on top of it and underneath it. And let's start with the ones that go on top of this platform, which are lighting fixtures, also quite modular. So there are 2 modules. The first one are what I call archways. So I'll show you what I mean by this. So for each of the terracotta, you'll do 2 fences up, then a mud brick wall, then 1 candle, then upside down stairs facing towards each other, connecting them with a spruce trapdoor, like so. An oak fence on top of the stairs. A fence gate, also oak, to connect the two fences. And forgot to take out this final piece of the puzzle, a torch on top. Alright, so we've got the quote-unquote archway lighting fixtures done. Now let's figure out what to do with these ones. So on top of each glazed terracotta this time, you add a mud brick wall as a kind of base, right? And then you're going to add some oak fences on top of this. Now, personally, for the ones that are lined up with the archway, the walkway, I place 3 fences, like so. And the 2 for the rest of them. Like so. And then top off the fence sections with a mud brick wall. And at the very top, for the central ones, waxed copper lantern. And the conventional torch for the other ones. Alright, so the lighting fixtures are done. Now let's move on to the final part of this tutorial, which is the pilings, or the supporting structures that go underneath this whole thing. So to start the construction of the piling, let's take some stripped spruce log, and wherever there's terracotta, I want you to stack them up all the way down to the seafloor, wherever that may be. Alright, so now all of the terracotta has been supported by stripped logs. Also, please ignore this seaweed apocalypse. So now, with the logs in place, let's support these fences. Start off, use spruce stairs and do this classic upside down placement. And only do it where there are fences. So for example, this side, yes. This side, no stairs. So this side, no stairs. This side, yes stairs, because they're underneath the fence. They're used to support the fences. So here, no fence, so no stairs. Don't forget about this side right here. Yes. Alright, so with the stairs being in, next step is to grab spruce trapdoors and connect the stairs. That. Alright, so with the trapdoors having been placed to connect the stairs, let's also use them to cover the outer sides of the stripped logs. For example, like so. You can probably go here as well if you want to be super careful. Like so. Also, make sure to cover the sides that are underneath the bridge as well. I guess you can skimp them, but I mean, even in survival, this is just wood, so don't be stingy. Alright, So with the basic piling structures done, let's add some final touches. So one of the things, if you go to an actual like beach or ocean front and look at the piers, you'll see that sometimes for some of the pilings there will be different shell animals that grow about at water level, so somewhere like this, and you can kind of simulate that effect by using a dripstone block and place it right here. So you can see all these different striped patterns. They kind of look like barnacles and whatnot. So you can choose to do that for all the pilings, but I probably will do it 80% of them, just because I wanted that diversity. I probably won't use them here. I probably will use them for the deeper ones, but just because it's my personal preference, you can. Alright, so now that that's done, you'll also notice from, say, real life pictures that there are oftentimes algae along the sides of the pilings, and I've found that glow lichens reproduce that effect the best, and they also add an extra aestheticness to this whole structure come nighttime. So what you're gonna do is you're going to start from this barnacle level and going all the way down. And with the one thing I would suggest is to make sure that there is some sort of connection between the top and the bottom. So try not to have like a bunch of this and then going down here, because algae, from what I've seen in pictures at least, they tend to spread together. So there's very little disconnection. But of course, it's your pier, your choice. And one more thing is to make sure that for all four sides, there are no segments that are lichen free for too long. So, try not to go like, say, 10 blocks without a lichen on any of the sides. So my suggested workflow overall would be to imagine that there's a thread going from the top to the bottom, a thread of lichen. So just going down, like kind of wrapping it all the way down to the bottom, and then from the bottom going up. See, for each side, see if there are any segments that are a bit too lichen free, and then you kind of pepper in a couple of lichens here and there. So for example, this one, it's too sparse for my liking, so I'm going to add one here and then 2 more down here. This one is nice, and rinse and repeat for all the pilings. And there you have it. The pier is complete. Well, for now, because as we all know, a good Minecraft project is never truly quite finished. There will always be little bits and pieces that you adjust to make them sleeker, better, prettier, and at the end of the day, truly yours. So, let me know down in the comments below. Would you be modifying this pier or customizing this pier in any way? And if so, how? I would love to see creativity being displayed in the comment section below. And until next time.